Bell. All right, things are looking up for the U.S. economy, which makes cyclical businesses like Dow Chemical a promising bet for investors. So we have to head back to Liz Claman at Davos.
Tracy, it's almost required that my next guest show up to Davos every single year because he does business in 160 countries. He is Andrew Liveris, the chairman, CEO, and president of Dow Chemical.
Hi, Liz.
How many Davoses have you been to now?
Well, I was actually trying to count on the way in yesterday, and I think this might be 8 of 9. I missed one through the financial crisis.
Okay, you've got me beaten by 2.
Is that right?
Yeah,
okay.
that's about it. But why do you come to Davos?
It morphed. I originally came because people told me to come, which is not a good reason to come, but none of my predecessors used to come. But I do think the nature of the job has changed. In your intro, I think you hit it, really, relationships. CEO relationships, CEO-centric relationships are really the reason I'm here. And when I say CEO, not your usual suspects, not the ones you could meet in the United States, emerging country CEOs, European CEOs, they all come here. They all like to come to Davos. And so I have meetings after meetings after meetings, bilateral, multilaterals, with government and other company CEOs from these countries.
How much of your business is done in Europe?
It's about a third of the companies.
So it's huge.
Yep.
As we wait to see what Mario Draghi decides tomorrow as far as stimulus is concerned, what's your biggest concern about the Eurozone, and how's your business doing there?
Well, the last question first. Our business is doing better. And I'm really trying to, of course, tomorrow and the QE and all the things you just asked about, I'm really trying to get to the point where Europe may be approaching a tipping point because of the world of energy. As you well know, it's probably one of your questions, energy-intensive countries, and Eurozone is one of those groups of countries, are getting a big break because of low oil price. That means out there's going to be another sort of stimulus eventually, which is demand. And demand in Europe has held up pretty well. And pricing, albeit soft because of low oil prices, has held up reasonably well. We're starting to see positive margins of lots of our assets in Europe. Yes.
Okay.
And that's a positive phenomena. And we haven't seen it for a while, all driven by low oil price. Now on QE, all the deflationary aspects of that, the restructuring of Europe, these are massive challenges. So it's still a multi-year fix.
The name Liveris is Greek.
Yeah.
You are the son of Greek immigrants who went to Australia,
That's
Darwin,
right.
so that everybody knows Darwin, Australia. But Greece may be jettisoned or leave the European Union.
Well,
what do you think happens with that?
Well, I think the Prime Minister has to be really congratulated for what he's done. He's put Greece into surplus. He's given Greece new life under this incredible debt paydown regimen that the Troika has imposed on them. But Greeks are suffering. 70% of Greeks are approaching the point of pain.
But is it the end of the world if Greece gets booted from the European Union?
I think there's a one-time hit, but your question implies there's some landing spot, maybe a drachma-based world where Greece is cheaper, where people can still enjoy the lifestyle of Greeks, but the tourists come, the exports are more competitive. It may not be as bad as people think, but I do think that one-time hit is a massive hit to the economy.
Let's end on a positive note, Andrew. Where is the strongest region on the planet for your business right now?
The US of A. I've been saying for about a year, and I think we're now approaching some really good positive territory. The United States is strong, getting stronger. Low oil's been a big part of that. But frankly, the government started working again. Now, we're not ideal. We've got a lot of work to do. The State of the Union last night was a good indicator of compromise. Can we find some compromise on tax reform, on the TPA and potentially TPP, and lots of things in the President's agenda. A little bit of a mixed bag for business, but still in the area of getting to compromise with Congress. If we can keep doing that, that unemployment rate will keep coming down. The U.S. economy will see further strengthening of GDP, not to the rah-rah days pre-08, but certainly stabilized, good, old-fashioned GDP growth. I'm very bullish on the United States.
Well, Dow shares have risen 8-fold since the market lows back in 2009, so you've done pretty well. If you run into the hedge fund activist Daniel Loeb, who's apparently here, who has pushed Dow Chemical to do a bunch of different things, will you have a conversation with him?
Absolutely, totally. Throughout last year, despite what was written and it said, we had a very healthy dialogue throughout that whole process. We reached, I think, a very, very good answer, and I think it's, we become better companies when we listen to our shareholders.
You have about 1 million meetings tonight.
Yes,
so we'll let you go. Andrew Liveris, thank you so much.
Thank you, Liz.
Great to have you
Nice
on
to be
Fox
with you.
Business.
That was Liz with the chairman and CEO and president of Dow Chemical, Andrew Liveris, who is bullish on the U.S. economy.